Hello, all of my lovely little cupcakes. How are we doing today? So, today's video, if you couldn't have told by the title, by the thumbnail and everything else, today's video is going to be talking about my mental health and how that personally affects me with my transition and what do I suffer with. So, let's get cracking on with the video. I do suffer with emotional unstable personality disorder. So that it is recently known, it was actually called borderline personality disorder. But now they've changed it over to this fabulous long word what I can barely say half of the time. So, this is something that I've suffered with, and I've suffered with now for about around about three plus years. So it's something that I have suffered with for such a long time. Now, with this illness, it's like an umbrella of many different things. So, for me, I will explain how it affects me, and then after I'll explain how it affects my transition. So, I'm going to start with how it personally affects me. So, it goes with stuff like anxiety, depression, low and high moods. So I have a massive fluctuation in moods. So my moods can go extremely high or they can go extremely low. What isn't very good at times. So I can't actually control my emotion at those precise times. It's either I go really high or really low. Or sometimes I can stay quite neutral. So some days I'll stay quite neutral, and then sometimes I'll go really low and really highs. And something else, it comes under as well with, what's the word I'm looking for? What is that word I'm looking for? The word I'm looking for is erratic behaviour. So I have an erratic behaviour. So I would do things on an impulse moment. So it's like bow, right, bow, right, bow. Right, I'm doing this and I'm doing that, and I want to take the world on, and then I start buying like hundreds and thousands of different things for no reason at all. So I can go from like that type of erratic, so it could be really thingy, where I start spending loads of money on items and things that I don't actually need. Then it can go to something with erratic behaviour, the way how I treat and act people. So that could be me being verbally like abusive to someone for no reason at all. And I can act out in such ways, like for an example, so when I'm going around, for example, walking around my town centre, what would be Hanley, so if I was walking around Hanley, if I find that someone is scaring or looking at me or anything like that, I will literally go, hi, and kind of like be really like massive, like over the top with that person, even though that person might not be looking at me. Or I could be very much of hi, or I could be very much, what you're looking at, sweetheart, like don't look at me like that, don't. And then I can really like kick off at someone for pretty much no reason at all, and that becomes like a bit of an issue in general society. But at home, so as most of you know, if you've been following me for a while, I do live with someone. So I do have a friend who lives with me, and I do have a couple of friends who come around and support me and all that type of stuff. But as I live with these people on a consistent basis, they see my moods changing from one extreme to another. And a lot of words they have personally used for me are they sometimes treading on eggshells. They don't know what to do with themselves. One of the people do work, and she's like, when she comes home, she doesn't know what mood I'm going to be in. She gets a bit concerned, worried, and etc. What isn't always a good thing, because I'm putting other people on edge for my personal self, for my personal illness. What's not really good. And then another part of this illness is a bit of paranoia. So paranoia and anxiety, what do kind of mix together in its own sense of way kind of thing. Because with it can start off with anxiety. So I personally think people are talking about me. I personally think that they're plotting something against me and stuff like that. And then that can turn into paranoia. So with paranoia, I personally start thinking that I can hear noises. So for example, like running water, for example. I can start hearing running water, but there's no actual water running at all. But I personally feel like I can hear that. I will sometimes feel that there's like people around my property, and I feel like people are out there against me, and kind of everyone is kind of like after me, and then I feel like this person wants to harm me. But in reality, nobody's actually about. There's no one like around or anything like that. But in my mind, it's very much of like there's all these people, and people are talking about me and stuff like that. So it doesn't work very good. Alongside with the paranoia and anxiety and the fluctuation of moods, this is going to be a little bit darker now, so I am sorry. So something that I don't shy away from, I'll always admit it, that I do self-harm quite a lot. I do overdosing, so I have used to, and kind of still do at the moment, that I do overdose quite often. This is something that obviously with the fluctuation of moods, when I spiral down into these low moods, I can't get out of them. So I do self-harm. So a couple of examples is overdosing. There has been times that I've ended up on the motorway without realising I've gone to the motorway. It's kind of like all becomes blank and I don't realise where I'm going or walking or anything like that. So I have times that I black out, as to say. So I've ended up on motorways and stuff and being picked up off motorways by the police and ambulance services and stuff like that. Now, the next part, there was a time what was really dark at one point, and this is something that is held against a few people have held against me so much. There was a point where I did try to hang myself. There is a point for where I tried to hang myself. Obviously I was unsuccessful because, well, I'm standing here in front of you, lucky enough. So I did try to hang myself. I've tried to like run in front of cars and stuff like that. Overdosing, and then numerous other things as well for where I've tried to commit suicide. So I have suicidal tendencies and I have suicidal thoughts. I would like to say tendencies and thoughts are a little bit different in the sense of mind that you can have suicidal thoughts but not act on them. Where suicidal tendencies is where you are pretty much going to act on it and not. So it goes from more from a thought to actually acting on it. So with that being said, that with obviously the suicide part of things, that is something that does run through this type of disorder. It is very common for people like myself with this disorder. So it's not something that is, it can be something that'd be good if it's treated correctly. Let me add that bit in, sorry. Is if it's treated correctly, and then it can be fine. But it's not something that's a quick fix. It's not something that could be fixed like instantly, and that doesn't actually, and that is the hard part of it. Now, alongside with obviously all those things, now with the social anxiety, it does come down to more of the normal anxiety and with the paranoia. So with the social anxiety, sometimes I cannot cope in a surrounded situation. I can't deal with being around loads and loads of people in one big go. Unless, the only time I can generally cope, I did go night clubbing at one point. With night clubbing, I used to only go to one nightclub. It's a nightclub, well, it's been two nightclubs actually, should I say, that I used to go to when I was a little bit younger and kind of like grown up around the LGBTQ plus like scene. So being in that scene, and at first it was a place called The Factory, and I kind of went there and that was all fine, and I got used to the people around there, the type of people, and you get to see the general people. Now, The Factory closed down and then it turned to a place called the Gossip. Now, I used to go Gossip quite a lot and I enjoyed it in there and I was fine. But where the social anxiety kind of mixes in with that type of place is because with my social anxiety, if I'm going to a place that I already know and been 1,000 times over, that is fine, can be fine for me, should I say. Because it's the same type of people, I've got used to the people, I've kind of grown up around a lot of these people. Yes, there is new people, yes, there is lots of people. But because I know a lot of the people, I feel a little bit more comfortable. I kind of put myself in like my own little like niche of my own group type of thing, and I stay with those people pretty much for the entire night, as to say. Now, what can be good for me, because I'm pushing myself and I'm putting myself in situations that I don't always feel 100% comfortable with, as to say. But usually when I come to a point that I can't actually like cope anymore, because I start getting paranoid, because I start thinking everybody around me is kind of like talking about me, like that person and the other person are all looking at me, and that can come a little bit like, oh my gosh, what the hell's going on? And then I need to run away and kind of come back home and kind of be in my own place to feel more secure. Sorry about that, I don't know what that was. If you heard that noise, there was like a loud bang outside. I don't know what it was, but it's fine, still alive. And so, yeah, as we were talking about just that, so when I'm in an actual setting that I know and a setting that I feel comfortable in, that is okay. But if I'm putting into a setting that I don't know, that I go into, like, for example, a different nightclub, that can be too much for me. I cannot cope with that. I can't deal with like a new place. I can't deal with new people around me, and so it can get really, I can get really agitated. I start having a bit of a panic attack, and then I have to come home. I don't care. Even if I've been out for half an hour, sometimes I just have to be like, can't do this, need to come straight home. So from the social anxiety part, and then it kind of can come over to like a bit of everything else. So now I'm going to talk a little bit about how it affects my transition. So how this illness, and a little brief explanation just of my illness in a nutshell kind of thing, is when I fluctuate in moods, I find it hard to actually get up out of bed, get ready for the day, do my hair, do my makeup, get dressed, etc. So that can become really hard. And I can't, so that's why sometimes I don't always dress, well, put my makeup and hair on all the time, due to obviously my illness a little bit, because I just don't feel that I can do it. I don't feel like I can get motivated, as to say. But saying that, I do always wear my female clothing. I don't wear, that's it, I always wear female clothing. But some days where I can't do my makeup and can't do my hair and stuff, that becomes an issue. So some people have turned around and said about, well, I've seen you walking around without no makeup or hair on. Well, yeah, but that is a time that I'm not feeling 100% in myself. It's not a time that I feel confident or comfortable in my personal self. So yes, I do walk out with no hair, no makeup and stuff, and that's where people have kind of gone, well, you're not trans because you're not wearing makeup or hair. I know I've said this in the last video and stuff, and in a couple other videos, that makeup and hair doesn't define you as a person. Really doesn't. I know, I think I touched on this in part 1 of this mini-series of myself. In part 1, where I did talk about hair and makeup and not wearing it every day and stuff. So basically what I'm trying to say is every day is a different day for me, because I can't always deal with my emotions with the way how I feel and stuff. So I find it hard to even get dressed. Where that becomes an issue, obviously, with my transition, because when I'm on low moods and when I can't do everything, I can't feel like myself, but I do feel quite numb in myself, so it's not easy in that sense of mind. Another part of why it affects my transition is because of my thoughts that I have, and because obviously my moods and my behaviour and everything else alongside with it, with the disorder, that I can find it hard to understand things, and sometimes I find it a little bit harder to understand why I feel the way I feel. So it can cause issues alongside with my dysphoria, because with my dysphoria, obviously something I touched on in part 1 as well, what my dysphoria is, so I'm not going to go into that on this video. When I'm in those moods, my dysphoria can be quite erratic and kind of be like, I can get down even more, due to obviously if I'm already in a low mood and then I'm kind of like, well, I can't do my makeup. Well, it's not the fact that I can't, it's more the fact that I don't have the energy or the feeling of wanting to do my makeup, if that makes sense. Or my hair or anything like that, or even get dressed. So that's how it can kind of affect me, because I'm not obviously doing this stuff every single day of my life, that it can get very confusing, not just for myself, well, I'm not confused because I know I'm female. Simple as that. I know I'm female. So it's not confusing for me, as to say, but it's confusing for everybody else around me. of why I feel the way I do, and it can get confusing for everybody else around me because they're not seeing me with my hair and my makeup and stuff on an everyday basis. So people get a little bit confused, like I'm a trans, I'm a cross-dresser, I'm a this, I'm a that. So I can understand why people get their confusion from, but at the same time, this is why I want to do this video and do these videos to help people to understand a little bit more about my life, a little bit, and actually understand that if I'm not wearing my hair or my makeup, it's not the fact that I don't want to, it's more the fact that I don't feel like to, and I don't want, like, I don't feel like I need to, or I don't feel that I'm in the right frame of mind to do my makeup and do stuff, as it takes about nearly an hour and a half to 2 hours to do my makeup. So when I'm already in that low mood that I can't deal with standing there doing my makeup and getting frustrated and stuff, as all of you lovely people out there who do makeup would understand, doing your makeup can be frustrating, especially when you're doing your eyebrows and your eyeshadow and your lipstick and your foundation and your highlight and your contour and all of that lovely stuff where makeup is concerned. That can come very stressful for me. So it's not the fact that I never want to, but it's more the fact that I don't need to at that precise point in time to put myself through more stress than what I already feel. So alongside with that, basically that's what my illness is. So an emotional unstable behavioural disorder, and that's how it kind of affects my transition and my life. If you would like to know a little bit more about this, I can do another video specifically talking about it into a lot more depth. So for now, I'm going to cut it here. So, thank you very much for watching. If you like this video, give it a big thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe. Click that notification bell so you get all new upcoming content, as I should be uploading a lot more regular as well now. Alongside with that, thank you very much for watching me. Thank you very much for all the support that you've given me so far. I appreciate it so much. Alongside with that, if you want to follow me on all social media, I will leave it all in the description for you lovely people to go along and follow me on my other social media. So for now, bye! Mwah.